Moving on, the Wicked Bolt cast time has been increased to 2 seconds from 1.5. Big shit.
Huge.
But hey, I will definitely say I appreciate Blizzard's. I do appreciate Blizzard being decently active when it comes to the Mythic Plus. I think maybe Blizzard looked at the same numbers that we looked at with Mythic Plus. They saw it's going down, and maybe just when it comes to their tuning team, they're like, oh, okay, we really do need to actively keep on tuning this and see where the player. And it must be so cool. This is something I'd love to get a glimpse of, or even if, for Blizzard to. It would be so cool if they've just released this at maybe one of the nerdy side panels at BlizzCon. Heat map of deaths, because you can be sure that these. That they've got telemetry and all of this shit, and then when they're balancing, they're doing it based on that telemetry. So it would be so fascinating just to see that, like, do they see, oh, there's a hot spot of player deaths here? Is it because something's harder than we truly intend, and is that a problem? I just think the whole process is fascinating, and just certainly it must be. I know the Mythic Plus community have got criticisms of Blizz right now, and I think it'd be really nice if they could, account wide the whole Valor point, upgrades. But it must at least be nice that it does seem like problems are identified and they're worked on and they're hotfixed in.
Yeah, I think
I can't speak with high authority on at all.
Yeah, it feels
part of the game
like the dungeon and raid balance teams are fairly active enough. It's like they're happy to change those instead of tweaking class values, because you'll very rarely see class values tweaked in a hotfix like that, but they're kind of going, here's a tiny variable we're tweaking, and you're like, you know what, fair, good stuff.
So
stuff.
next they have this is also a good thing. They've buffed the Korthite Crystal drop chance from the from the Maw Salt box, Korthia Weekly box, and Broker Daily quests. This is good. Bring down the price of tokens, or sorry, not tokens, of legendaries. And like in a world where Blizzard do have an incentive for legendaries to be expensive, but it's one you can sort of, I don't want to say debunk, but you can argue against. They have a financial incentive to make them expensive so that people go and purchase tokens to get the gold to buy the Legos. They open themselves up to that criticism whenever they engage in that as a part of their business model. In the same way that EVE Online, with its Plex, does that, and in the same way that WildStar with Cred, I believe they called it, you can open up lines of criticism there. But the other thing is that if you do make it so that it's that expensive, you'll decrease engagement and drive people away from the game. And certainly in the face of you being open to a criticism relating to incentives and WoW Token, when we then see, oh, you're buffing that, you're doing something that will decrease the cost of those legendaries, I think to a lot of players, that's a good thing to see. Now, that said, most people who have spent a token on their legendary have already done so.
Yeah.
So maybe
could
have done that a bit better earlier.
That actually brings to a decent question in chat. Just Hollow Weswolf, or Corblow, as she's known. That's fucking, who's going to get that joke? What the fuck? Anyway, why are you giving WoW praise for things that should not have released the way they are? Because we don't have a choice. It's the kind of thing where we have to praise them for doing good work, because if we only attack them, they get so little right first time that it would feel like a never-ending destruction of them. So whenever they do good change, we're like, okay, good. Can we have this at launch next time? Is it the right choice? Because the other thing is to say, well, oh, you've released this shit. Oh, well, don't change it now. Then we just have this thing that isn't done correctly, or doesn't work. It's the exact same for the I assume that was in reference to the Wicked Bolt cast time increase, but also the crystal drop chance, where it's like, you've just made everyone who bought legendary feel like shit, because you've got this habit of going, you've got a tiered experience depending on when you bother playing, and that it feels intentional, which is really, really annoying, because it can't be intentional that they tier a player's experience actively. They must be doing it by accident, by virtue of how they design things from another perspective, and you're just kicking everyone in the nuts every time you make a change like this. So if you if this stuff's planned, if this stuff is planned to be changed in advance, just launch a patch with all of the changes already in, and see how it goes.
Think about, based on the past, what will people ask for? And want, and then have a think. I mean, here's VRA is okay. One of our members who said, since launch, I've spent $60 recrafting.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so, oh man.
Yeah, that's a boxed, that's a boxed expansion. Nice.
That's a game.
That's the also.
That's almost a new AAA game.
Yeah. Well,
Not that it's like AAA is a stamp of quality, but
Of
it's
course.
fucking it's Miles Morales, Tsushima.
Yeah.
Man, there's fucking
oh
great
shit!
games out
Tsushima was
there.
out yesterday. Shit.
Yeah, it is. And guess what? I scrolled past on my PS5 to go and play FF14 Tsushima, and I thought, oh fuck, I really want to play you as well. So, yeah, it's that thing, right? I'd say little thought experiment. Imagine, I'm gonna throw a bone to a certain maggot box streamer.
They're still there. Yep.
By the way, Zach knows I'm fucking with him. We're all good. Like we do get on well. The bone to him is on, of course, the corruption vendor, because basically I'd fucking mentally checked out by that stage, and then he was just like, rotation, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yeah, shit, you're totally right. So it's like, imagine a patch 8.3 that launched with all of the balance being better and how it was by the end, and a corruption vendor with just buying them, no rotation, just buying them.
Nice.
Imagine, like, I actually think that would have been a way more engaging patch if you then maybe did something to increase access to horrific visions without having to do boring shit.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, there is a version where, in terms of your regular daily play experience, 8.3 is like twice as good as it was at launch. And it's like, if it had have been that from the very start, and I think it would have been very, I mean, it was extremely easy to intuit all the problems that 8.3 had. That's why I would say we have to be more mindful about these things when they go in the game. Because WoW is generally better after it has its public beta test, which is called it launching as a paid product.
You know, we just called the first 2 patches.
Yeah.
Sorry, 3 patches.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's it. You know, we're still in public beta. Now,